Thank you. Thanks, everyone. Yeah, my name is Una, and I've been working as an innovation consultant for a while. I've been involved with Nikkei Digital Innovation Group for a few years, and we're working mainly on fintech topics. In the past 3 years, of course, a large portion of our content is blockchain. And I'm also consulting some other companies. I was involved in 2 successful ICOs last year. I worked in marketing and business development for ZILLA, the comprehensive ICO app, and also CargoX, shipping solution that's based on blockchain, removing the old paper bill of lading and kind of revolutionizing the industry. And when I was asked to come here and be one of the speakers in this amazing lineup by Amber and Douglas, thank you so much. I was very flattered, and I spoke to them on Friday about what we should discuss in the outline of this event. And I actually had no idea what to talk about. And then a few hours later, I went on a road trip, and just on the other side of Mount Fuji, I stopped at the convenience store, and I got a coffee and checked my phone, and I saw an interesting post on LinkedIn. It was very joyful. There was an announcement that the female president of CEO has been appointed to Aston Martin, and I felt really victorious. Because I've started my career in automotive, I just felt like all of us won something. And then I looked how this post got into my newsfeed, and I realized that my first degree contact, a Tokyo-based recruiter, commented, and he said that even though he doesn't have access to data of how many females would like to become presidents of a car company, he was sure that boys like cars much more than girls do. And now I got furious, and I wanted to stay in front of that convenience store the whole morning, texting back and forth, but I actually had to run away because the rush hour was kicking in. So that's why I'm talking about this 1 week later. And in my mind, I kept thinking about how lucky I am that I don't have to deal with this kind of mentalities, and that people who are around me and who shape me are much different than that. And who shaped me? As I said, I started my career in automotive, and my first job was a fail, because I didn't last even a month. I quit because of a weak manager and because of harassment and mobbing. But I realized that I liked the industry, and that's why I changed to another company, and I worked at General Motors, where I had a beautiful, diverse team, and they trusted me with work, but they also trusted me with the car keys of the latest lineup. I was a student, I was not even 18 years old, I had car keys, I had everything. It was a blast. And then when I moved to Germany to work at Intel, I was worried if I would fit in, but to my surprise, the team trusted me with many things, and in a few months I was delivering technical presentations in German, a language that I didn't know very well. I still don't. But the bottom line was they just threw me into the water because they actually knew I could swim. I didn't need a technical degree. I also didn't need a gender change for that. I just needed an opportunity to learn, and they provided. And they shaped me into a woman who's not afraid to ask any questions right now, because I know that I will learn something with every answer that I can get. And later I moved to San Francisco, and my mentors changed from mainly male to mainly female because of the Women Who Code movement. I've attended many meetups and events learning how to code on my own, and I've asked women who have been organizing these events, how is it even possible to make these kick-ass meetups where women strive? And they told me, you know, it's really easy because we have all these motivated people who want to learn. All you need is mentors. And I think that's true. Especially for women, we have everything. We have equal opportunities, at least here when it comes to education. Most resources are online, they're free, anybody can access them. But the thing that we really need, and the deciding factor whether our careers are going to strive or deteriorate, is the human factor, people around us. A recruiter that will not forward a CV of a girl to somebody who might have been her perfect mentor just because he might think that she's maybe not passionate about the industry. Or a recruiter that will. Or a colleague that will. Just like my colleague and friend Nick. Hey Nick. I work with him on different projects, including the Nikkei initiatives, and he actually increased the involvement of female blockchain experts by 80%. So I think without him, I definitely wouldn't be here where I am. I would probably give in to the stereotype before, and honestly, I don't think I would be in Japan. I would move out. But speaking of being here, my first team was also great. I worked with Olivier, the great designer who's now actually in Kanemitsu-san's team at Bitflyer, and also Tanvir, who worked at ZILLA. And through them, I got more involvement in blockchain. I also met CEO of ZILLA, Abbas Phillips, who's a seasoned fintech developer, fintech expert, and he's been in blockchain since the beginnings of Bitcoin. So I really liked hanging out around their office and learning from them. And even though I've been working with fintech for a while, I wasn't afraid to admit that I find it difficult to visualize the concepts of blockchain. And at that time, Abbas didn't even blink. He just turned the desktop towards me and he's like, it's right there. And then he showed me the transactions and everything that was going on from the start. And that's why I enjoyed staying at their office a lot. And we both learned, like all of us actually at the office, and we enjoyed it. And coincidentally, not coincidentally, but consequently, I started working with them on their ICO a few months later, which was successfully closed. And I think when you learn and when you teach, in the end, everybody wins if everybody includes each other. So I could go on talking about my mentors, and I see so many of my mentors in this room. Masako, hello, my mentor. Also, Amber and Douglas organizing this great event and opportunity for women to come here and share our stories and connect. Also, Kanemitsu-san, of course, she's a star. And it could take days to talk about this. But what's important is you. It's especially women here. How can you strive? How can you find mentors? How can you find great colleagues like I have? I think that's not so difficult because we have all these amazing people even in this room. I think what's really important is finding what you're interested in, finding your industry, and then through that you will find an opportunity to identify who's important in your life and then contact those people through connection, through introduction, or through even social media. And by that, I don't think people should blindly send messages to everyone, friend requests. By that, I mean just think about what you can bring to a person and what that person can bring to you. Send an introduction and connect. Especially blockchain is such an open, it's a very kind of young society where everybody is looking for opportunities to connect and build something on their own. And I would like to close my speech with another example from automotive, because that's how we started. And this time I would like to share a lesson from one of my mentors, and he taught me something when we were 5 years old. At that time in Europe, it was very popular to play game with cards that had cars in them. And even in the instruction manual it says it's a game for 2 or more boys. And when I wanted to play, the boys in my neighborhood didn't let me play. They're like, no, girls don't know anything about cars. You cannot play. And then my neighbor Branko, he dragged me to the end of the room and he said, you know, I have to tell you a secret. Boys have no idea about cars either. He said, they're just reading a cheat sheet and whichever card has the biggest number wins. And that time he told me, you know what? The kids who are the loudest about excluding others are the ones that have no knowledge about anything. And I'm taking this lesson, and I think it really applies to blockchain these days, because we have so many people who are talking about it, we have so many people who are working in it, and we have many people who are doing a great job. But the best people for you are the ones who are willing to share the knowledge. So this is my message. Find people who are willing to share what they're doing with you, just like the girls here and also the boys coming. And also be a mentor to others, because that's how everybody wins. Yeah, that's it for me, and I just have a few more, just few more announcements. Nick and I are working on the FinSum Summit, which is happening in September. But next week we're organizing an AgriTech Summit, and a few panels will be about blockchain, because they always are. So we have a surprise for all of you. Free tickets for everyone. everyone. You can just contact us, and we will provide everyone with tickets for the event next week. So I hope you will enjoy that. And feel free to connect with me. Send me an intro message, please, though. And yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much, Runa. That was beautiful. And next, we will hear from Mrs. Bitcoin, Mai Fujimoto, who is also the founder of Kizuna, a Bitcoin platform, a donation platform made possible by Bitcoin.